وقل رب زدني علما.
I've never had such. Anyway, I'll let him talk about this. I'm full of hatred. It is
telling Abdul that's secret assassin.
the Nazis. It's about the Nazis.
Can you phone me some things? Can you phone me?
Oh, of course. Yeah, I don't have the text in front of me now. It reminded me of how the Nazis did to the Jews.
I want to say something actually. If you want to talk about hijab, yeah, I think it will be fine. If I might disappoint you here, it will be alright if you talk about it next week because I need to prepare myself for that as well. To be fair, because I'm not prepared for that. I will not justify Islamic position if I profess that.
Hey, what about the crucifixion? You do the crucifixion, no, man?
Crucifixion? Yeah, we can maybe talk about crucifixion, but I cannot talk about hijab. Maybe
we can wait till next week.
Let's talk about hijab next week.
Alright, Jesus, I'll talk to you about
hijab
Jesus
next week
now.
in both
Okay,
bodies.
if you want to, you bring your side.
So I prepare myself for that. We'll do it next week.
I
Is that all right?
don't know if I'll be here next week.
Will you be here in 2 weeks?
So I can't come every week.
I'm here every week.
Are you?
I'm here
So
every
the
week.
next time she comes,
Yes,
then we'll do it.
we can.
But be prepared by next week.
Yeah. So it's alright with you, yeah? I'm sorry.
Called me a Nazi.
No. What I said was, let me clarify what I said.
No, you were saying that was quite a big phrase.
Can I clarify what I said?
Wait, no, let me finish. Full of anti-Muslim bigotry and
Yes,
hatred.
yes, exactly.
Because I wrote an article about the hijab.
Yes,
So can you quote me
yes.
something from that article?
Well, I don't have the article. I don't
So
have the
you
article
shouldn't
here.
really say that.
Oh, let me
You shouldn't
explain.
say that.
No, I do say
Okay,
it.
unless you've got
In front of a
quotes
camera.
Because actually, that could even get me prosecuted.
No, if it does, it does, my dear. You should be careful what you say. You should be careful what you
You
say.
should really bring it.
I will.
haven't had anybody tell me that.
No one reads your articles. But no Muslims read your articles. I'm
You're
stunned.
Muslim, are you Muslim?
Of course I am.
And you've read my article?
Yeah, one
So
day.
you just said no Muslims read
No,
my article.
apart from me.
That's kind of
Okay, can I explain why? I've seen how the Jews were treated by the Nazis in the 1930s. What we're seeing in Europe today, particularly among some extremist Christian groups, as is represented here, is an increased hatred and polemic towards Muslims. And we see that in articles she's written. If you read the article on hijab, it's full of the most appalling misrepresentation and lies
Yeah, shall I
about
tell you what I
Muslims.
quoted? And I can tell you actually what I quoted this, sir. If you want to go to the Pfander website and look at my blog, you read it for yourself. If you agree with it all, then just, write a note on the Facebook page. Let's come back to that. Right?
Should we have a debate about Islamophobia in Europe? Should we debate about Islamophobia? You and I, on camera, it's a public invitation out to you. Shall we debate the Christian Islamophobia and European Islamophobia towards Muslims in Europe and how, unfortunately, your ministry is contributing to this? I will debate you on Premier Radio, Speaker's Corner, and Telephone Studio. Will you accept my challenge to debate?
Exactly. I should tell some of them.
Come back to me. I will debate anywhere on the radio, television, and Speaker's Corner about the rising Islamophobia in Europe and how certain Christian groups, extremist groups, are contributing to the hatred towards Muslims in this country. And I will provide evidence, testimony, quotations, and citations from a whole range of literature. It's all online of how people like yourself and other extremists are demonising Muslims in the West.
So tell me, you put me in that group. You very
It is a hate group. It is a hate group. You belong to a hate group.
Right, show us
A hate
what
group.
we've done that's been for the
Your article.
What have we done?
Jay Smith is very good at every Sunday. He does it every Sunday. But your article on the hijab, yes, your article on the hijab is the hatred towards Muslims and damages to the way many Nazis looked about the Jews in the 1930s. I will debate this with you on radio or television. Will you accept your debate? No, I read it though. I read it.
You made lots of claims.
Yes.
Lots of very extreme, very unkind claims.
They're
So I
factually
cannot
true. They're
defend.
factually true. I'm just walking by, my dear. I don't have the article. I'm telling you, I read it 2 days ago, and it reminded me of what Goebbels wrote about the Jews. It was full of hate and venom towards Muslims. It lied and lied again. And I will debate you. We can read this article in public. I will debate you in public, on television, or on radio, about your writings and the way you lie and defame about people. So do you accept my debate challenge? Do you accept my debate challenge? Wherever you want. Television, radio, Speaker's Corner, and
Lizzie, what we could do, we could even set something up next week if you want to.
Yep.
We can do it here.
Right.
But what,
Good.
Lizzie,
Don't
I
accept my
think
debate.
people need to know that everything you have done, you have sourced it in the Quran, you have sourced it in the traditions, you have sourced it looking at the Muslims. Now, if they want to call that hate, then I would redefine hate, because we have to do that. We've got to source, make sure that we source what we do. We talk about this. We talk about the ramifications of what the Quran
to mention
says.
the reason why
And
Muslims
Lizzie, don't you also go to
wear the
Muhammad
hijab.
as an
Because
example?
of modesty.
Haven't you done
He
that?
fails to mention.
it?
Do you mention
Shall
that
I-
in your
shall I
blog?
read you what's
Do you
in
mention
your
that in
blog?
your Do you mention that in your blog about
Read it,
modesty?
Lizzie, read it.
Do you mention that in your
I don't.
article?
No,
I've
because
asked
I
you a
think we need
question.
to go back to your
I asked you a
scripture.
question. Do
We
you
need to go back to
mention
your
the reason why women are obliged to
I quote this
in
surah.
your
I quote
blog?
this
Do you
surah.
mention modesty?
Okay.
My question to you.
Lizzie,
I asked you a question.
Lizzie,
You mentioned
did you go to Al-Bukhari to support why? Did you not go to Al-Bukhari and you went to Sahih Muslim? Did you not? So you went back to their authority to find the context of why this verse was revealed, Surah 33, Ayah 59.
It's like Nazis quoting the Talmud. They go to selected bits of the Talmud and they say, look how evil the Jews are. Jay Smith and I finished. Go to selected bits of the Quran and Hadith, like the Nazis did with the Jews.
When we
to
get there, Lizzie,
demonize
we're putting this up. We'll put this up probably tomorrow, right? I want people to go up and I want people to see whether or not you've done that.
And that's what you do.
He's Nazi over and over again.
Yes,
No
you're like
proof.
them.
He's not cited anything that I've written.
I
He
have.
said talk about my
I
life.
have.
He's not given me any
I have.
quotations, nothing
And
like
you're not
that.
giving her a
He just
chance to
calls me a
speak
Nazi
either.
and an extremist.
Lizzie,
You're not
Accept the challenge,
and this is going to be fascinating how now criticizing the Quran is known as fascist, hatred, and Nazism. Anytime we criticize the Quran, anytime we criticize the criticism, we're going to have this kind of Islamophobic rhetoric that comes up. They only have one narrative. They don't want to defend it. They only want to use ad hominem against us. Now, what we say to people, go and watch tomorrow when we put this up online. Go and see if she does fall under those rubrics.
She does.
You will find that she does not.
She does.
Because actually,
Let's
I
have a
take it very
debate.
seriously.
Let's have a
I'm
debate.
not someone that
You
takes
have
it
a
very
debate.
seriously. Wait a minute, I love
You are
Muslims
invited.
and I want them to
No,
be
you
saved
don't.
forever
You
by
hate
Jesus
Muslims.
Christ. That's why I'm
You
doing
hate
this.
Muslims.
Because I
Do you
am
love Paul?
Muslim.
You hate
I love
Muslims.
Paul.
Listen, do you love Paul?
I
love Paul too.
Do you love me?
God bless you, yes. Give me a hug. We all love you.
Oh. Shake hands.
Thank you.
Even though as a Muslim, this woman represents a hate group.
Yes.
I will still shake her hand and give her a hug, even though she represents a hate group.
That is Muslim manners.
Muslims.
So you see now, if you criticize Islam, it's hatred. You can criticize Christianity, and we love you.
Depends how you do it.
Criticize us all you want. Criticize Jesus.
Depends how you do it.
Criticize the Bible.
Yeah.
We will still love you and not call you names. Come on back to Jesus, folks. He wins every one of these debates. If the only defense you have is that we're being hateful, then I feel sorry for Islam, and I feel sorry for your defense.
Why do you lie that Christ was
Get used to criticizing
you
Muslims.
lie?
Get used to it.
Have a debate then.
We won this debate.
No, you didn't. You never won a debate.
You
just waffle.
People like yourself that hate groups, hate Muslims.
I know this is the narrative. You're a hateful person.
Like EDL and BNP and Britain first.
Because you're criticizing, you're criticizing their authority.
That's all you are criticizing.
Because you're criticizing their authority. I love you.
I love you too, Jay.
But I do not like your Quran. And I do not like your prophet. And I do not like your God. And I don't like your Quran. But that makes me a hateful man.
I hope you are not watching EDL.
Thank God. That's Jesus.
What's going on with his life?
You are not
Was Christ was not born 25th December? Was Christ born 25th December?
Go on, that's a smile.
Was
Do you love
Christ
me?
born? No.
Do you love me?
What I Christ? What I concern about this? Was Christ born 25th December?
I
No.
love you, even with your face like that.
No. I don't want. I don't want Christ.
If you love me, can I have your bag? Can I have your bag? Take care.
They hate It's from the internet, which I have read, to read out this stuff in front of people, and you make your own minds up. And you say this is loving people. It's not. It's hating Muslims.
Where can we read read it, Paul.
Well, on their blog. She has her own blog. It's particularly on the hijab. It's full of. It says. It's just horrible things. It's just like the way Goebbels spoke about Jews. The Jews are these horrible creatures, and Muslims, they're horrible. The way they do this, it's horrible. And nowhere in the article does it give the reason why Muslim women and Muslim men are required to dress in a certain way. It's because of modesty. It's because of modesty. It's a beautiful virtue of Islam, and they fail to mention this because they want to deprecate and slander. They're not being fair. All right, they can disagree with Islam, fine. But at least criticise Islam, fine. But at least speak the truth and don't lie. Don't lie. And they are part of a hate group spreading lies and hatred. And we should stand up for these people. Now, fortunately, Jay Smith's going back to where he belongs. No, not hell, United States.
Well, close.
He's going back to America.
Hopefully for a special window. See Jay Smith.
Forever.
Just to see Jay Smith.
Well, he's going back to the States.
But did you see the way they presented it? The whole talk today, their talk was about hijab. But when they started, they said, we're here to talk about the ban issued by the European Union.
Yeah.
And we're with Muslims, with the Muslims against it.
Oh, right, okay.
So then they went straight into why hijab is wrong. And
I'm just saying that on her article, it was a vile attack on Muslims and Islam.
Can you share that with me?
And it's on the website. And I'm saying she fails to give the single reason why men and women are required to dress the way they do in Islam, and that is being modest.
Yeah.
So there's no virtue in anything in Islam, according to her, and it's all evil and wicked and oppressing women. Terrible things she's saying. It's lies, lies, and lies. What it does in this environment, in Britain and in the West today,
spread hatred.
this fuels and spreads hatred towards Muslims. There's an article, I think, in today's Independent or Guardian, which talks about a doubling of hate crimes against Muslims in this country in the first 3 months of 2017. It's double what it was the entire of 2016. And these people are fueling this. I mean, they're small fry. I'm not saying they caused it all.
But they're a part of it, yeah.
But they do contribute to it. They contribute. They add fuel to the fire because of the way they speak. They don't speak using balanced and fair language. They use extremist rhetoric, which is why they're a hate group. And I say that publicly.
There's
They're a
only
hate
one,
group.
Dr. James White.
James White is changing.
Yeah.
He's morphing into something more mainstream. And he used to
But
be
it's
like
different
this.
to them. He's a
But
Calvinist.
unfortunately, Jay Smith and his disciples are still very much a hate group, and I label them as such, and I'm sure in America they will be banned or labelled as such as well, because they contribute to the demonisation and attacks on Muslims in this country, physical attacks and verbal attacks, and they contribute to that by this poisonous atmosphere. Again, it's nothing to do with criticism of Islam. Criticism of Islam is perfectly within boundaries Islamically, as long as you do it for serious purposes and not because you're slandering someone. That's Islamically understood, it's perfectly acceptable. What they're doing is completely different from that. And that's why I want to call them out. They intend to defame, to lie, and to deprecate, and that's why I call them out.
So is it fair to...
I'm happy to debate her in front of cameras, on radio and television, anytime of their choosing, on this issue of Islamophobia and their contribution to it, and because of what they say and what they write. And I'll bring that evidence, and you can make your own mind up if this is fair or not. Believe me, you'll be shocked.
Share it with me. I don't know why.
In the first line is appalling. I mean, if you change the word Muslim to Jew, if you just
You would be jailed, yeah.
they'd be prosecuted for incitement to Jew hatred or anti-Semitism.
Anti-Semitism.
No, they would be. They were prosecuted because he's Muslim. It's all fair
Everyone
game.
take it down. Have you got it?
I think they wouldn't. I think they're too
Scared to do it.
No, I don't think they bother. They're caught up in their own righteous bubble. They're not going to think, oh, maybe we should take it
Take it
down.
down to make
But I'll unhappily quote that passage to you, and you can see this is inciting hatred.
So is it for
share that with me on Facebook.
I'll send you the link.
for hatred to spread?
Yeah, it's not on Facebook. It's on. They have a
Pfander.
website run by Jay Smith.
Yeah,
she's
Pfander.
written the essays, the articles. There are 4 of them, and I've only read one of them. The one on hijab. Once I read that, I thought, oh, I don't need more of this rubbish. So that was the one I read, and it's a very recent one. And you'll see. So she is a part of a hate group. We must label it as such and treat them as such, and giving them nice, giving them airtime. They don't do that. They're there to spread hatred.
Wasn't that saying for hatred to spread, it takes few good men to remain silent?
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. They get away with it. Speakers call. Let's either get away with it on air, on the radio. See, they're not prosecutors.
Thanks, Paul. Cheers. Jazakallah.